going on, guys? It's your boy Matt St. Jack. Whether you're an avid anime fan, a wee tadpole still finding your way, or anywhere in between, I'll be providing my opinions and insights on anime old and new. Think Yelp with help from friends and producers from other shows weighing in. I know you can't wait to hear, and I can't wait to tell, so let's get to it. This is Matt St. Jack with Anime Talk. Let's go.
I'm Beau Maddox.
I'm Ian Harper.
And I'm Lewis.
And this is Collateral Cinema and
Retro Anime Podcast.
welcome to a special anime edition of Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We're podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas. And yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it dabs, blunts, bongs, or joints, smoke it if you've got it. And I would like to welcome once again our friends Ian and Lewis from the Retro Anime Podcast. How are you guys doing?
Doing great, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, Beau. Doing good.
Excellent, excellent.
Happy to be back.
Oh, yes, definitely. Good to have y'all back. And what have y'all been up to lately on the show?
Oh, you take the floor, E.
So we managed to get one more podcast out at the end of the year. We had a good start to the year. Got quite a few out, and then both of us kind of got quite busy, and unfortunately, kind of through the second half of the year, we didn't put much out. But yeah, we managed to get one more out where we kind of looked at a load of kind of alien and thing themed anime that all got released in a very short period of time. So we did things like Lily Cat and Hell Target. So
yeah, wild ones.
Yeah, that's an interesting little kind of subgenre almost. Anime influenced by The Thing, like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was something else. They're all uniquely terrible, and also there's actually, which one was the best? I think Lily Cat was the best. We agreed.
Lily Cat's the best. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Lily Cat's definitely the standout.
Yeah, that's cool. Definitely. And we have you here today to talk about a specific anime that honestly is kind of near and dear to me in many ways, and that is Project A Co's. This is an old school anime that is a little more than it meets the eye, I kind of feel.
Definitely, yeah.
I went in blind to this, so I really had to piece this together.
Yeah, I first saw this 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Same here. I remember first seeing this anime on back in the day on the Sci-Fi channel, back when it was a little more independent. And back in the day, they would show pretty much all the good old stuff like Akira, Vampire Hunter D. They would show Bubblegum Crisis, and they would show all the Project A Co movies. And it's kind of stuck with me all these years. And then I finally found a copy of all three movies on DVD, and I was just like, oh yeah, I got to get that, you know. But this particular anime, it kind of feels like it literally feels like two different shows put together, right?
Yeah. I would say, go carry on. You take the floor.
No, go. You go ahead, Lou.
Oh, lovely, thank you. So I definitely, because I went in blind, the intro really threw me off. I thought we were going to get some sort of like cosmic mystery, and I was locked in, and I was thinking, yes, all right, this is a great hook. I'm here for it. And then it very, very quickly, I was like, oh, wait, hang on a second. Because as soon as it got into this like other story, I was like, wait, which one's the real story? And then I realized it's all about Eiko, Biko, and Seiko.
I know it. It kind of feels like Space Battleship Yamato for a little bit, you know, or Yamamoto, or however you pronounce it, or like Macross at first, you know. Well, it feels like we're gonna get like some kind of space opera in a way.
Yeah, I mean, Macross is one of the, you know, so this film kind of parodies, you know, and sort of pastiches so many other anime, and Macross is, you know, so the city that they live in, you know, is Macross City. You know, if it's how the Macross came to Earth. You know, it was an alien spaceship that crashed, and then, you know, the Macross is the center of Macross City, you know, in the crater that it formed. So, you know, there's all those kind of things, like I say, Harlock, Yamato, you know, Fist of the North Star, Creamy Mammy. You know, it's just you know, there's just so many little sort of nods to this and that in it.
Yeah, it's almost like Excel Saga, but without the crack, kind of. If you know what I mean.
Because it has a really interesting kind of history, Project A-ko. So it was meant to be the third episode of a hentai series called Cream Lemon.
What?
And it, you know, and it spun out into its own thing, because you can really clearly see some of those sort of ecchi hentai elements in it. And if you look at some of the other episodes of Cream Lemon that came out, you know, especially like Pop Chaser and Harasu Scramble, you can see elements of that are in, you know, that kind of form especially some of the sci-fi detail in Project A-ko. So
that's cool.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as the scenes with Eiko, Biko, and Seiko, I mean, it literally feels like if you just took the sci-fi elements out of this, it would just be its own standalone story and everything.
Yeah, it's uniquely.
I'm trying to think. I was going to compare it to another anime, but I forget which one. What's another anime that this reminds me of? Yeah, but I mean, I definitely see the Fist of the North Star influences, mainly with the really muscular.
With Mari,
like Mari, and also the one spy lady that's spying on them.
Oh yeah, D,
D.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an interesting little flourish in its own right. Like, the most masculine-looking characters in this entire anime are both female.
Yeah.
You know, and they definitely do. They almost look like JoJo characters in a way, or Fist of the North Star. You know?
Mari's really funny because you know, she is literally like Kenshiro with pigtails, and you know, she
absolutely
she grunts and groans, but then when she talks, she's got this really squeaky little voice, which like is such at odds with how she looks. Dainty. You know, it's hilarious.
I have to say, it does keep you guessing. It likes to lure you in and say, like, oh, I'm such a simple story, you know. But then it just finds stupid ways of surprising you. That's something I enjoyed across all of the beats. Like, I mean, it's tasteless in some places, but in others, it's just like, well, I was wrong, I guess. So.
I think that one of the more absurd parts of this anime is probably the whole situation with Eiko, Biko, and Seiko itself. I mean, for one, it's like Biko is just so petty. I mean, she's actually going to take this grudge from 10 years ago, like all the way to like fighting with goddamn mechs and shit, you know?
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun to think about the ways in which, because when I was watching it, the character play reminded me a little bit of Kill la Kill, even though it's a bit more slapstick.
Definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely an influence on Kill la Kill.
Yeah. And I thought, like, wow, this love triangle story is just so simple in its anchors, and everything just revolves around it. And it like, very, very surprising in that regard.
Absolutely.
But I love the way it actually has all these kind of almost slightly parallel threads that like kind of like running jokes and stuff that kind of build up to this like massive kind of crescendo at the end. Because like the whole thing with like, and it's just full of tropes and like visual things that you've just seen 1,000 times, but it kind of just, it's done in a way that it feels fresh. Because like the whole joke with D when she's first standing and like Aiko and B and Seiko like knock him over, and then every time he does it you see like D's clothes get like more torn, and she's got more bandages on her, and you know, and you know, and it's just like a gag which just carries on through the whole film, and just kind of, you know, it's just like little details like that. And when it does the flashback to where Biko kind of hatred of Aiko comes, you can see Aiko, there's a bit where they're drawing on the ground and she scribbles really hard and opens up a hole in the ground, so it's like this, you know, this super strength was always, you know, it's just brilliantly like full of little details, you know.
It lures you in because you're like, oh, you're assuming all the time, like, how has he not figured it out that Aiko's the one he's looking for? And then it's like, oh wait, they were after Seiko the whole time. Oh god.
Yeah, I mean it's that more of a case of mistaken identity, because I mean that is something I was gonna say. It's almost like, you know, Aiko has this strength, but it's never really, you know, addressed 100%, you know, and now that you're saying that, you know, maybe Aiko was the actual princess, that makes more sense.
I think it's just the way the actual they're trying to lure you in to believe that, because it's the most obvious,
the misdirection.
It's the most obvious misdirection. That's what I mean by it continually surprising me, because it's like, oh, okay, I guess you're not just, you know, a shallow puddle of water. You've got some depth. Congratulations, you fooled me again. And it fooled me so many times.
Yeah, definitely.
And it, you know, and that's why this is one of those anime films that warrants like repeat viewings, you know, because it's just every time you watch it, you can just pick up something, you know.
Yeah, it does seem to be like a trove of references and homages to other medium. Yeah,
definitely. But I mean, I also really love the fight scenes themselves. Like, I mean, they're kind of the height of absurdity, and also just it really just lampshades all of those tropes about shonen fight anime that we've seen a bunch of times, you know. I mean, especially in just the way that Biko just completely gets hoisted by her own petard, like constantly. You know, like she keeps coming at Aiko with just greater technology, and I think in the second anime, it's kind of explained how she has access to it. She's her dad's like a rich CEO and whatnot. And just as batshit insane as she is. But I mean, I just really like how things play out between Aiko, Biko, and Seiko.
Yeah.
First off, Seiko. I mean, I kind of feel like she's going to be a real your mileage may vary type of character. Like, to me, she's adorable as all hell. But I want to see, what do you guys think? Is she adorable or is she annoying?
Oh, 100% annoying.
She's 100% annoying,
Every moment she's on screen, I'm like, cool. I like you say, I do enjoy their like dynamics. It does make she only has to occupy that kind of crybaby role to be as like lovable, amicable in every situation. Because I think, you know, part of that comedy is how can anyone want to hang around with Seiko so much?
Yeah, exactly.
That she's this, like, she's the core of it all.
And Aiko is just so down with it. She just flows with Seiko for some reason.
It's good. It's a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, because it's just like no one would put up with someone that was that annoying, you know. And all the time, you know, and it's like the lunches that Seiko makes, you know, and like they're terrible and all the rest of it. And then there's like the last one, which is you can literally see it's got cut out pictures of like Asahi bottles and you know,
I love
like
that.
shop bought onigiris. You know, they've literally cut pictures out and stuck it. You know, and it's just that kind of thing. It's brilliant.
And that attention to detail is actually strewn throughout, like in various, like it's almost like finding treasure, like enough references. What do you guys think of the shifting art styles and the detailing into, because there's obviously like a lot of labor of love into the designs of these great big warships and the inspirations of battleships and things like that. How did you find the difference between the scenes where the softer, more rounder features, when it's all playful and trying to be chibi, with the main characters?
I mean, to me, like I said earlier, it's literally like they just slapped two anime together. But I mean, it's amazing how much detail they put into the actual sci-fi elements of this movie. I mean, and just all the different tropes and all the different other anime that it references there. I mean, you really feel like you're about to, you know, meet up with Eiko in some kind of mech or something floating in space as part of like some space force or some rebel group. But no, she's just a girl that is consistently late to school all the damn time. So, you know, I mean, and then just getting into the actual, just the more slice of life elements in a way. It has slice of life to it a little bit. You know?
I mean, it has, because it's got that whole high school, you know, the daily kind of happenings at school, going to a new school, you know, all the other kids kind of being interested, you know, because even though they're kind of non-characters, and even actually Biko's, you know, little entourage and like their kind of development and what happens with them, you know, and how the bullies change, you know, they get on sides, you know, and all that kind of dynamic changes through the film, you know, and that's very much a slice of life, you know, high school drama kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, everyone somehow has a character arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it has all, you know, it has like the hardcore, like sci-fi, you know, like that opening scene, you know, like the detail in it is like absolutely exquisite. Then you've got like the mecha, you know, and these like more elaborate mecha that Biko brings to try and defeat Eiko each time. So you've got that. So you've got the high school thing. You've got the, you know, the kind of almost magical girl bit. You've got the kiddie bit with, you know, Seiko's behavior. It just, you know, it's got everything, but the real genius is how it brings that all together into something that's like so cohesive, because it could easily have been a mess.
Yeah.
Right. It could easily have been a mess.
Yeah, definitely.
I think what grounds it a little bit more in tying it all together is going back to what you were saying before with the view of technology from its point in time to a vision of the future. The VHS recording, but it's like a really kind of like polygonal, high-tech little box, but it's still this like handheld VHS. When she's like watching back the footage that was captured of Eiko and Seiko on her hollow screen, she gets it from a compact disc still. Yeah. It's just a fancier silver like slide. There's just lots of like, you could, like you say, go back and rewatch it, and then you just have this like, it's a time capsule of a great vision of sci-fi, but still that's like not all push and touch sensors and everything else. It's still grounded in the technology of the era. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because I've got that note about like the pixelation on the video. I mean, but it's like very clever kind of detail to actually include in it, you know.
I didn't see your notes, but I actually had that as well. There's a lot of, like you say, just the labor of love and stuff to make it look. I don't know what they're running across it to make it look a certain way, but it's clear when they do it in the overhead shot of the big mothership of the alien invasion force when they do that overhead shot and they've got like the streams and lines. You can see kind of like them running it through the print, and they do those different layers to things. It's great. I did like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, let's talk about the actual quote unquote alien force that's coming that invades Earth. I mean, like I said, it does have shades of Macross a little bit, but also maybe a little bit Robotech, right?
I haven't seen Robotech. Describe it to me.
Well,
okay.
Robotech is Macross, really.
Oh,
It is pretty much Macross. I mean, yeah, it's all kind of the same thing.
Mo Speeder and Southern Cross in it, so yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's only so much variation there, you know. But I mean, it's just so lovingly adapted in many ways, you know. But I also just like how it's juxtaposed with something like I'm watching on the screen. You have this cartoonish flashback and everything, where you have the chibi Seiko and Eiko. You know, I mean, it feels like this entire anime is just a love letter to the genre in so many ways.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It really, really is. You know, it's everything that, you know, the animators and the creators liked, and just morphed it all together.
Yeah, super high detailed ships. Carry on.
Yeah. I was going to say, because it's like some of the things, you know, they're saying about, the alien force. What makes me laugh as well is like, is the main, the captain of the commander of the ship. You know, he's just got to be on the booze all the time. But then all his, you know, it's the outfits of all the bridge bunnies and stuff. You know, like I say, that's where you can see that kind of hentai background to it. You know, it's just hilarious.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I like how his alcoholism gets worse as the movie goes on, because it's always cutting to him. He starts off with a glass of wine, and then it's full blown liquor from the bottle by the end. It's just a really good gag.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. He's just completely sauced by the end. I mean, I kind of wonder if that's referencing a specific character in anime. I mean, you know, I guess there's only so many ship captains in anime. Maybe I don't know.
He looks like the trope of every kind of alien invasion force bad guy, doesn't he? Flared cloak kind of thing going on.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely like inspired by Harlock. You know, his coat cape thing is, you know, is Captain Harlock.
Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I kind of thought of like maybe like one of the Jiraiyan ships from Tenchi Muyo a little bit. You know, kind of, sort of, or maybe like Kagato from that series.
I've
not seen much Tenchi Muyo, to be honest.
I wouldn't be able to comment on that one.
Oh man, y'all gotta watch Tenchi Muyo. That's another interesting anime that really takes a slice of life and just smashes it together with harem and sci-fi tropes.
I've seen GXP Tenchi Muyo. That's the only one I've seen of that.
GXP is very silly though. It's almost like a more exaggerated version of Tenchi Muyo. Yeah, so I highly recommend that y'all at least track down the OVAs and watch that. That's actually primo stuff. That honestly, if you like Project A-ko, you'll really like Tenchi Muyo.
Okay.
Because it kind of feels very similar.
Interesting. Definitely ought to put that on the list then,
Yeah.
I do like the moment when she kind of like flies up to see the ship for the first time. It's like, oh, okay. The joke is that it's a penis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's totally phallic. You know.
Yes.
You've humiliated me once too often, Eiko. Revenge is sweet, 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 and you, Eiko, are going to die.
And I love how at the end, you know, I mean, it makes that Macross reference with the spaceship crashing, but instead of crashing, it just lands right on top of the main tower in the middle of the city, and it just stays there.
Yeah.
You know, and then all the aliens' force is like unemployed now. They're trying to make ends meet all of a sudden on a different planet, and I think that's. I think that's kind of brought up in the second movie as well. I didn't really get a chance to watch it again, but I think that they have many of those same characters in it.
No, because I went in blind, didn't even know that there was multiple movies of this. So I will watch them now because I did like. This is one of those rare cases where you get to watch a retro anime that has an arc and it's fun with it and kind of doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah. But, I mean, going into the other two movies, they're very, very different. Like, only the second movie is more of a continuation of this particular story. The third movie is kind of its own standalone thing as well, where I guess Eiko and Biko are like bounty hunters or something, and then Seiko is like a bounty that they have to track down, and they can stand to make a lot of money. And then it's basically more about the relationship between the three characters in that one, you know, and it's just from a different lens.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you get up to Project Eiko Final, which is kind of like the final anime in like the original arc, and then there's Eiko Versus, which is kind of like an alternate universe kind of spin.
Well, they were doing multiversing before it was cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that I think that's the one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Wild. Well, these guys were so ahead of the game.
I know, right?
But I think it's really interesting as well because it's like it's kind of interesting how it picks up on like things that were popular as well. Like because Fish of the North Star was really pervasive, you know, and kind of penetrated all sorts of things. You know, there's various like mecha shows like Dragonar and SPT Laser, which you can see there's characters in it that are clearly and groups of characters and stuff that are clearly influenced by Fist of the North Star. Then the whole, you know, sort of spin-off of Macross and the whole kind of boom in the mid-80s of that kind of, we kind of saw on the back of Do You Remember Love and getting into that kind of really, really detailed, you know, spaceship design, you know, with all the little lights and, you know, every little bit kind of detailed. You know, that mid-80s kind of boom, you know, things like Odin, which, you know, we reviewed in our very first episode, but you know, it's. I mean, I quite like it. It's a bit of a kind of Marmite film for people, but you know, the animation, the detailing, is exquisite. So it was in that kind of boom of that detail, that kind of thing, you know. So it's interesting how it kind of soaks up, although you know that really big sort of early to mid 80s boom in like especially sci-fi and, you know, and growth in anime again, and kind of soaks it all up to create this very, very unique, because parodying hadn't really been done up until that point. There was nothing that occurred to me, and I kind of looked some stuff up, and it hadn't really been done like Eiko before.
Yeah, and then Koshi Rikto would kind of take that to the nth degree with his Excel Saga and what's the other Puny Poemi or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
he took it up to like absurd degrees though. Like I mean, to where it was like meta, like literally having the main protagonist come and kill the manga creator. You know, that kind of. Yeah, I mean. But here I would say the parody is a little more subtle in many ways. You know, it's still very ha funny, but you know, at least starting off, it's a little more subtle. And then when you get to the end scene with the battle with the invading force, it kind of plays a lot of things straight.
Yeah, it doesn't compromise its own story. does it?
I mean, I guess.
For the sake of the references, I mean, you're going to say something here. Sorry.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? I can't remember now. Thought popped out of my head as fast as it popped in.
Okay. Well, I would add that the references, I think I would have not have gotten all of them, but it does feel like there's something for everyone anyway. And there's even more for people who are deeply vested, like you say, in the era of that boom era. Plenty of things soaked up that make it special in lots of different places, because that's kind of like they get me, I feel seen, that's I know that reference, I get that reference, but it adds to the story that you're witnessing as a funny quip, but doesn't distract from where it's going itself and the beats it's going through.
Now, the reference in things, that's kind of, is quite interesting, because like, when I saw it first, like, anime was still really new in the UK. Like, we had like a few magazines out and stuff. So when you saw it, like the only one that I picked up immediately was Fist of the North Star, because the movie had come out, a couple of years beforehand. But some of the other ones, it didn't pick up. And it wasn't until kind of watched it again and again later on, and you go,
that's that.
That's that,
Yeah.
It's rewarding.
Yeah, it is.
So it is like, as you say, it's really rewarding, because it like, that's kind of, and it rewards you on repeat viewings, because as as you see stuff and you learn more and you pick the stuff out, then you pick the reference up, and it just enhances your enjoyment of the film, I think.
Yeah. I maybe got like 3 or 4 references, and since talking to you guys here about it, there's 5 or 6 that I've been told about and informed of. So that discovery is something else.
Yeah. It kind of makes me feel like maybe this particular anime would be ripe for maybe a remake or something like that, because it would be kind of interesting to see how they would play with a lot of the tropes that you see in anime nowadays. Like, now, of course, that means they would probably be some kind of send up of isekai or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it would be kind of interesting to see what an anime like this would do with the state of anime culture today.
Yeah, there's got to
definitely.
be someone has to be making this. Surely, it feels like too much of an opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they just brought back Yuritse Yatsura not too long ago.
Absolutely, yeah.
We could totally bring something like this back and just make it a send up of what modern anime is nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about everything that's happened in the 38 years since it came out or whatever, it's things it could pull on Evangelion, Attack on Titan, as you say, all the light novel and isekai stuff, and it could have a field day with everything that's come out since.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love for them to kind of take on something like Code Geass, even, which. Yeah, I mean that's a kind of a love-hate anime for me, and very tropey anime, and I would love to see an anime kind of do a send-up of that, But I mean, I think that this is an anime that really it's definitely had a little bit of an influence on modern anime. Like for instance, I heard one of y'all reference Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
Earlier on, and I could totally see Kill la Kill taking a lot from this anime, especially just from the whole premise of high school girls fighting over high school shit, pretty much.
Yeah, ever increasing odds and like power scaling rapidly, working through ridiculous outfits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of ridiculous outfits, what do y'all think about Biko's get up later on in the anime? I'm watching that scene where she reveals her. I guess it's like a Kamen Rider looking costume or something like that. Yeah. What do y'all think of that?
With anything like that, I'm like, okay, it's of its era. I get it. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, I look at it through a friendly lens, but it is one of those things I can laugh at. But it's the parts where it gets smutty, and I can see that where you're going. What you said now about its original hentai influence, it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, but the thing is, that whole Biko's outfit, that whole thing was like, if you look at a lot of anime that came afterwards, that kind of, I've seen it referred to as battle bikini thing, you know.
Yeah, the battle bikini.
I mean, you can see, like, right in that mid-'80s thing, like, you know, was kind of where it really started. And that episode of Cream Lemon, Harasu Scramble, and that came out, like, so they were probably, because that came out about a year before Project A Cow did, so probably in production kind of similar sort of time, made by the same production companies as well, you know, APPP. So,
yeah,
you know, that outfit there. So there was certainly some ideas that were percolating, but if you look at a lot of that battle bikini, you know, armor, you know, sort of sci-fi armor that had that as a thing, you know, it was as kind of I don't know, lurid or whatever as it was incredibly influential, really.
Oh, very influential, definitely. Like, I mean, it immediately makes me think of something like Dirty Pair, or even like, you know, what's another good example? Yurusei Yatsura, you know, Loom herself. I mean, she's in a bikini herself the whole time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to, something we reviewed, I can't remember what it was called now, but a Go Nagai. I
have to look it up.
Was it Dream Dimension Pandora? I can't.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, it does ring a bell, but I cannot place it. Ian.
Yeah.
But all that kind of but it was all that kind of powered, and you know, shows like All Purpose Cultural, Catgo, Nuku Nuku. You know, again, you can clearly see a lineage to Project A Cow from that.
Yeah, and you could kind of, I think that some other examples of that would be like homegirl from Gurren Lagann. What was her name?
Oh, Yuki?
The bikini girl there, yeah. It's like she was always in a bikini, and she was always fighting, and like she was a sniper or something. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that as far as old school anime is concerned, I mean, I really miss this type of style, man. I mean, like we said, it's like just the attention to detail. It kind of feels like it's lacking in a lot of your basic anime nowadays. I mean, there's some that get it right, but I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of stuff that's kind of just shat out just to make a quick buck. And it's kind of sad because you kind of don't get this kind of labor of love anymore, unless you're talking about, you know, like Hayao Miyazaki or any of the more auteur anime creators and whatnot.
Yeah, and you know, I'm always kind of, you know, when we talk on you know, retro anime podcasts and stuff, you know, kind of growing up with this this kind of, you know, with things like Project A Cow, because you know, this is something you know, I've had on VHS, DVD, and now Blu-ray as well. So it's you know, it's incredibly endearing, and it looks gorgeous. And like, you know, I try not to kind of keep the rose tints on and go, you know, anime doesn't look like this. You know, things move on. You know, everything progresses. But yeah, the whole look and the way it's animated and its style and everything, it's just like, yeah, it's hard not to kind of look like very kind of sort of misty-eyed over stuff like this, and just kind of think, oh, I wish anime was still like this, you know.
To me, like, it was very, like, watching something like this, because we watch a lot of retro anime for the retro anime podcast. the one thing that kind of stands out after a lot watching and consuming a lot of this is where price cuts are made and where things have been compromised or where things are just like not given much care. And this knew exactly what it wanted to do it feels like they knew what they wanted to do from the get-go.
Yeah.
And they were not compromising on anything.
Yeah.
They're like, whether you think it's like a good story or not, you can't fault the quality of the work that's gone into it. The set, like from the sounds to the attention to detail in every scene, and like even the nuances in that, where there's a lot softer shapes, bigger eyes, and for the more playful things they want to put across. And then there's this really high detailed, gritty, this doesn't belong here, mothership detailing for the mecha and the labor of love that goes into that kind of thing. Because it's still like, I bet if you did a kill count in the for the whole thing, a lot of people die.
Oh yeah.
I'm watching one of the space battles right now, and yeah, there's literally just explosions going on everywhere. Like there's literally just they're just murking space pilots left and right here.
Yeah.
A lot of people die, and it's all for the bit.
Yeah.
It's all for the trio. Yeah. It was
good piece. Dream Dimension Hunter Fandora. I knew it was Fandora. Yeah,
Fandora.
Kind of, but
right.
that's very much kind of got that same kind of powered bodysuit, powered bikini-ish kind of heroine type thing. So it's it was kind of it was all very very like influential and very much a thing that really started. Back in that mid 80s kind of real sort of bubble era OVA kind of boom.
Yeah, man. Oh man, the original anime OVAs, I mean, that was a mood, man. I mean, it felt like you could just discover something really, really special that way. Like coming across something like Project A Code. Let's go ahead and get into our final thoughts about Project A Co. I'll go ahead and start with you, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this is just a seminal anime classic, and I just think regardless of what kind of anime you're into, whether you're, a new fan, an old fan, or whatever, that this is just something that just you should see, because it was... a bit like Otaku no Video and things like that. It's just such a project passion. It's just so well executed. It's funny. It's entertaining. It mixes up so many genres, like so cohesively. It's like unbelievable, and like the detail in it. Like I say, it really rewards repeat watchings. Missiles that have got drinks cans round them, logos and stuff. It's packed with it. It's when people say a timeless classic, when you look it up in a dictionary, you'll see Project A Co.
Absolutely.
Because watching it again yesterday, and it's just like, do you know what? I haven't watched it for a couple of years since I bought the Discotheque Blu-ray, which I will say, just looks gorgeous, and it looks magnificent in high definition, and it's just I've seen it countless times, and I never tire of watching it. It's just, it's almost perfection. Project A.
There you go. That's a glowing review
for sure. Lewis, go ahead.
Well, this one surprised me from the get-go. I didn't know what to expect going in. But it continually undermines your expectations. It does a great job of setting the stakes really highly in its opening scene, and then taking you on a completely different ride than you thought you were on. And it kind of it doesn't overcomplicate its plot by trying to run two. It has two stories going on, but its main thing is what would happen to this story. Yeah, this is the story that's going on, but what would happen if these three crazy characters just happened to barrel into that story? So it's really cohesive. It's slick. It's of its time, fascinating little capsule of pop culture and sci-fi culture. I think, like Ian says, it should be celebrated. For me, though, as a score, I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Awesome. Hell yeah. And my final thoughts are just, you gotta kind of, get into old anime if you're into anime these days. I hate to be like the old man yelling at clouds here or whatever, but it's like y'all need to put some respect on some of these old anime's names.
Definitely, yeah.
Put some respect on something like this. This was just a labor of love in so many ways. It's a love letter to anime as a genre. And, it's still very watchable. The animation is crisp in so many ways. Like, even on my my potato-ass standard def DVD, it still looks amazing. So yeah, don't sleep on this, people. This is it's free to watch on Tubi. You can watch it very easily. It's not even that very long of a movie. It's like you can get through it in an afternoon and be done with your day, and you will have been rewarded with one of the more influential anime of its time. So yeah, definitely check it out.
You would be richer for the experience.
Yeah, because it's literally like 84 minutes or something like that. It's not even an hour and a half. So it's really easy to watch.
It's a very tight movie, very, very tight little movie.
Indeed. Agreed.
But anyway, go ahead and plug your stuff, guys. Where can our listeners find you, and what's coming up with the Retro Anime Podcast in the future?
Okay, so you can find us on Twitter at Retro Anime. You can find the podcast on pretty much everything. We host on SoundCloud, but you can find us on Amazon, Spotify, Apple. Most places our RSS feeds on there. So very easy to find just by searching for Retro Anime Podcast. Coming up. We've got, I've got a bit of a lineup. I was talking to Lewis about this. So, few things for this year. So, we're going to kick off a series called The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, sort of a trilogy. So, obviously, a couple of anime that are sort of really sort of stand out. A couple of sort of so bad they're kind of funny kind of thing, and then a couple of real doozies. They're so bad they are just really, really, really bad,
unwatchable.
So some really ugly anime for that one.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, I've got some doozies for you on that one, Lewis.
Great. Well, I can't wait.
We're going to do a thing about some of the anime made about Hiroshima. I want to do a Yoshikazu Yasuhiko kind of special as well. So yeah, we've got plenty lined up for this year.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Very well. Very well. And as far as Collateral Cinema is concerned, our Indiana Jones Part 1 trilogy review is out now, and we will have Part 2 out within the next couple of days. We will have this episode out very soon, and we will be doing our anniversary episode where we review Takashi Miike movies, and we're doing Happiness of the Katakuris this time, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, check out Collateral Gaming. I believe that they just released their Legend of Zelda Origins episode. And, check them out. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you get your social media.
Awesome.
So, once again, guys, thanks for being on the show. I hope you all have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us again. It's been great to come on and talk anime with you again, Beau. So, hopefully, again, we'll do it again in the future.
Absolutely. All right. And with all of that said, I'm Beau Maddox.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Ian Harper.
And this has been Collateral Cinema and Retro Anime Podcast. Have a good day, and definitely check out Project A-Co.
Definitely do it. Definitely.
Yeah. Worth it. Worth your time.
Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.